following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo, it's Motivational Monday here on the Positively Pipeman segment of the Adventures of Pipeman here on W4CY Radio. I'm back in South Florida after going all over the place, out of the country, in the country, in another country, within this country. And we were at Hell's Heroes. The music festival was amazing. We'll talk probably more about that on Wednesday. We'll give you a little recap, and we've had some interviews playing from that. But today, I'll tell you what, we had Passover, we had Easter. You know what that means? Spring has sprung. But what has it sprung? We're going to find out in a second when we bring on the pet health guru. And then after the segment with the pet health guru, where we're going to talk about that, we're going to talk with Michael Barbarita with Next Step CFO with some powerful business strategies, the speed to lead. You need the speed to lead in business. All right, let's bring on Studio Nut and the Pet Health Guru. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
So, spring, what has it sprung, Pet Health Guru?
Well, I remember last fall when we started talking about there being only two seasons, poison season and allergy season. And we're now past Easter, so that means we're in allergy season, detox.
Yeah, detox from all the crap that people probably ate on Easter. A lot of chocolate, a lot of sugar.
Between Halloween and Easter.
Yeah, 100%. So
sugar highs all over the place.
So tell us about, what's the deal with allergies and how do we combat them without, people are so easy nowadays for humans, and I know they do it for their pets too. They're so easy to just take a pill. Like even in dating, like if I'm allergic to cats. And so women like, okay, so just take some meds. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take meds to date you. Like, it doesn't make sense to me to poison my body. There's got to be a better way, Bill.
There absolutely is. And first off, I want to start out by explaining that an allergy expression, that itching and sneezing and hives and rashes and all of that stuff basically is a made-up term when veterinarians and physicians couldn't figure out what it was, or at least wouldn't admit to what it is, which is when we look at it, the symptoms of allergy and the symptoms of detox are identical. They're one and the same. But doctors, veterinarians can't talk about detoxification to any great extent, about poisoning, because they sell this stuff. They're the ones putting it in. On your pet, it's the flea and tick meds and the Vax and, all these other things that they do. Just the meds, just even general antibiotics mess up the body. And, of course, same thing with doctors with, people. I mean, it's like, they do all this testing, all these allergy tests and everything else, and then they put you on antihistamines and steroids and things of that nature that are destroying your body so it can't handle all the rest of the toxins coming from the chemtrails in our foods and our water and environment, chemicals, all of that sort of laundry detergent. The body's got to get rid of it. Otherwise, we die. And these are
Yeah.
all just symptoms of that bodily process of getting rid of poison. It's plain and simple.
So, what do you recommend to pet owners that they go to their vet, and the vet says, "Oh, you need this. It's going to cost $4,500 because," and they will spend that on their pet before they'll spend it on their own human body.
Right. It's they sell off of fear. We know that. That's how the whole medical community is set up. And if you don't do this, you will eventually die. Well, we'll all eventually die anyway, but you just want to speed up the process with your drugs. But you also want to make sure that process takes long enough so I can clean up your bank account. Um, Unfortunately, that's the system that's been set up in medicine. But I mean, it's quite simple. When you're put in that fear-based position, I mean, I got a post over the weekend that, I mean, it was devastating. They waited 3 hours in the waiting room with a dog that suddenly crashed. In the waiting room where they're waiting for 3 hours, there's a big screen TV that keeps a commercial on a loop for an allergy medication, a scratch and itch medication that she had to endure for 3 hours while she was waiting, and they kept coming out with pieces of paper. We can do this for this amount of money. This, please sign here, please, $5,000, or put your dog to sleep.
Hey,
Totally distraught.
that stuff kind of blows my
It's all about
mind,
the money.
to be honest. More money,
Especially-
more money, more money.
Especially if you think
does
about
mine
it.
too.
If you think about it from like a
Yeah.
desensitized point of view, right? It's cheaper to just get a new one.
It would be, but nobody does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
What?
I
what-
have seen, talking about allergies between pets and humans, I have seen allergy medication that is geared, it's marketed towards pets like cats and dogs. What's the difference between their allergy medication versus human allergy medication?
Ooh.
Because the pet one is more expensive
There
than the human
are
one,
none. Number one,
and they have the same ingredients.
absolutely. And not only that, 90% of those drugs have never been tested on animals, so they have no idea what the dosage would really be if there was truly a dosage. I mean, all that stuff is made up. This is
The
just,
animal can't talk to you.
fairyland stuff to make money. I give you a condition that you don't like. You are indoctrinated to run to medicine, not health, but medicine, and we will give you something that'll suppress and hide the symptom so you don't see it anymore. And in most cases, I mean, all drugs are poisonous anyway. So we are destroying something else in your body. And when we do that, now we have another med to disguise the poisoning in the first place. And of course, that's why people end up with 10, 15, 20, 40 different prescriptions for themselves and 20 for their dog.
And that's how companies sell medicine cabinets too. You don't need a medicine cabinet if you don't have that many drugs.
That's right. That's
I
right.
don't have one.
And why are they the size of a closet now?
I remember my
mine was
mother
built
had.
into the house. I never open it.
Yeah, I remember my mother. She had more medicine and bottles than anything I ever saw in my life to this date. It's amazing how you could sit there and think it's
And
normal.
the thing is it's funny because I mean, if you look at my counter, okay, you'll see a bunch of different herbals, foods that will take care of those symptoms and get rid of the poison that you've been putting in your body. I mean, Pets, Fiesta Pet Deli, and the BioComplete line. And it's just mind-boggling that people they still even understand that there are such things as chemtrails and that food can actually make a difference. And when they mention it to doctors or veterinarians, oh my God, you can't use this type of ancient technology because it'll mess up my treatment plan for you.
Well, check this out. I was just in Costa Rica, okay? And you know what happened to me there? I couldn't even finish any of my meals. I was getting full. Why? Because it had no junk in it that made me crave more, and it had all the nutrition I needed that I didn't need more. What a concept. I haven't felt full like that since I've gotten back to the States, by the way.
I know. And even the cleanest food that you can get is still tainted. While you were traveling around, I actually did a couple of different podcasts on Pet Health Cafe. That the last one was on eating raw. Now, one of the things that you have to think about is why are we the only species on the whole planet that has to cook our food? Everything eats raw, unprocessed, not ultra processed, not cooked foods in the world. Everything else eats raw every day. And they're surviving. They've survived for some of these animals for millions of years. And yet we have to do this kind of stuff. Even our water is processed, if you stop and think about that. We can't drink real water.
Oh, no doubt. And it's got so much poison in it sometimes. It's weird that you have to filter water that is because you got to filter stuff out that they put in it.
Yeah. It's got to be treated for, chlorines and chloramines and fluorides and all this other stuff. I actually did a post on one of our the veterinarian guests that I have on my show sometimes, and they were talking about some of the injectables that are required, actually how it reacts with the iron in the body and causes the heart problems. Well, we heard that during the pandemic, that all these things with the heart have surfaced. It's the same vaccine, basically. And on the other side of that, though, I said, here's the problem. All your farm animals that are commercially raised in big companies, they've gotten these injectables as well. So the meat that you're buying that's supposed to be healthy and clean isn't. And the same thing is even with the foods. They're putting those compounds into, I saw this morning, tomatoes and lettuce contains those same so-called preventative characteristics that they've actually put it in the food supply. And your body's got to get rid of it. So now we're going to have the symptoms, whether it's an allergy inside the body by destroying your heart, or on the outside with a skin rash or sneezing and coughing and all of that.
What do you think, Juan? Does your guppy have any allergies?
They haven't told me anything, so I don't think they do. But I do agree with the fact that they're putting way too many chemicals in our food. Like, if you look at something basic like bread, right? It's supposed to have 4 ingredients. Like flour, water, salt, yeast. Those are like the core ingredients for bread. But you look at, like a loaf of bread in the store and it has like 20, 30 ingredients.
And if you can't pronounce those,
I talk about that often. And in fact, I heard something today too. Yeah, it's even worse. I also saw a doctor on one of the feeds that I get this morning talking about heart problems, and and was describing it in form of, let's say you've got a sliver, you don't do anything with it, what happens to it? It becomes inflamed. And if you don't get the sliver out, eventually it'll fill up with pus. And then, when you take it out, you need the antibiotics and everything else that have to go along with that. Well, when you talk about that same, that pus, well, every time you get the flu, that pus that your body developed, that mucus, goes around the heart. It stresses the heart. And after 20 or 30 years of getting the flu once or twice a year, you've got major heart failure. It's not about the blood. It's not about the plaque. It's not about any of that stuff, the cholesterol. It's about that we keep putting that poison around our heart. And the body's trying to protect us. But we put drugs that stop that process of elimination, of getting rid of that pus and mucus that's throughout our whole body.
So why don't you tell everybody how they can reach out to you, check out your podcast, Pet Health Cafe, check out My Paleo Pet, everything that you got that can help them not only with their animals, but their humans too.
Well, you mentioned the Pet Health Cafe. Great show that we've been doing now in our 18th season. I provide as much different information as I can on not only where the problems are coming from, something that, most practitioners would never tell you what the cause of it is. And, we show you then step by step how we can, A, prevent it, and B, fix it after the fact. A lot of the products, of course, and the concepts that we have incorporated into My Paleo Pet and into the BioComplete line. The retail store is in Pompano Beach, Florida. Online, it's mypaleopet.com, biocompletenaturaldiets.com. Those will take you to that for the website, of course, here on the Talk 4 TV networks and on pethealthcafe.com. We try to get out there all over the place, and we're on most of the major platforms. So you don't have to just look for us on YouTube, but across multiples while you're driving. iHeartRadio among 100 different platforms. I can't keep track anymore.
Yeah,
but
we're over 100.
I also do magazine articles. Yep, and magazine articles in various magazines, which are also available online, and I'm available for consultations. You just got to go on the My Paleo Pet website, and you can book a private consultation with me. And it doesn't matter whether it's for your pet. Start out with the pet. That way I don't get in trouble, and then we can just move on to you.
There you go. So thanks a lot, Pet Health Guru. You are always a wealth of information and a great help to our loved ones, meaning our pets, because I don't really like the humans. And then I love your show too. So everybody's got to tune in to the Pet Health Cafe, because if you love your pet, that's where your pet has a voice. Now we're going to play a couple commercials where we're doing some ticket giveaways for a couple music festivals coming up on the Pipeman Radio Tour. All you have to do is DM me and any of my socials at Pipeman Radio and tell me what festival you want to be entered to win for. You might have to answer some question. 1 or 2, maybe not. I don't know. Take your chance. Check it out. And then stick around, because the next segment is our Powerful Business Strategy segment with Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. And we're going to give you the speed to lead in business. Give us the speed, Juan, to lead in to festivals.
Louder Than Life, North America's loudest rock and metal festival, returns to Louisville this September with My Chemical Romance, Iron Maiden, Tool, Limp Bizkit, plus Pantera, Pierce the Veil, Gojira, Papa Roach, and more. Nearly 200 bands across 7 stages. Louder Than Life at the Kentucky Expo Center, September 17th through 20th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at louderthanlifefestival.com.
You're listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and here we are again with the Positively Pipeman segment of the Adventures of Pipeman with our powerful business strategies with our resident expert, Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me, Dean.
I feel like I have the need for speed. Oh, wait, no.
Really? No.
Maybe the speed to lead.
Right. So let me explain that. You know, I was talking with a high-powered sales agency a couple of weeks ago, and they talk about this concept, which makes all the sense in the world to me, called speed to lead. Speed to lead means how fast are you getting back to your leads? And so amazingly, they had all the statistical data on it from their sales efforts. And they found there's a 90% chance, a 90% greater chance of closing a deal, any deal, if you can get back to that lead within 2 minutes of their inquiry. Within 10 minutes of their inquiry, it goes down to about 30 or 40% greater chance. And then after that, it fades off dramatically. So it's really amazing. And the reason is that people forget what they sign up for. People forget what they inquire about. So it actually happened to me a couple of weeks ago where I inquired about a financial program, and they didn't get back to me for like a week. And I said, well, what is this about? What did I do? You know, I had to kind of refresh my memory, and it gets things off to a bad start. And then you actually forget. Here's the other thing. I actually forgot the reason why I made the inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They don't even remember your name half the time if you wait
right.
even a few days.
Right. That's right. And so it's incredibly important. And like I said, this high-powered sales agency that they sell high-ticket items, you know, in the thousands. For events and so forth, they did the analysis on it, and what their data shows, because they make thousands of phone calls a day as an agency, and so with multiple people, and so what their data showed is that if you could get back to that person within 2 minutes, you have a 90% better chance of, not a 90% chance of closing them, a 90% better chance of closing them. It's also pretty impressive. I've tried it where and people are like, "Whoa, I just made the inquiry." You know, they're kind of impressed by the fact that you're following up. And by the way, it shows whatever type of business you're in that you do follow up pretty quickly. So it has a lot of advantages to it, but most of it is top of mind.
Yeah. And I got to tell you that this is one of my favorite things right here, what you're saying, because I talk about it all the time, especially when I'm training salespeople or even what I do for myself, like even with show hosts on our podcast network. I tell them if they have a guest that's a potential sponsor that's on their show, they need to talk to that guest immediately after the show, and let them know ahead of time that you're going to talk immediately after the show, because first of all, that's when your relationship is at its best. Okay. Right. Nothing negative has happened yet, for sure. And, you know, again, everything that you said as well, it's like you want it fresh and you want it while they're in a good mood about what they've already done with you. Now, take other industries. You know, it's absolutely true. Even the people that say to call me back, they don't remember who you are when you call them back, because they're saying that to everybody instead of saying no. They think that's easier. It's easier to get the salesperson either out of their business or off the phone, you know, because they know if they say no, you're going to try object and you're not going to leave. But if you say, listen, I'm really interested, but I'm really busy right now, call me back tomorrow. That's a blow off most of the time. If it was important to them, they wouldn't do that. And they probably do that like 20 times a day. So they don't know who you are when you call the next day, or they just don't answer. Most of the time, that's what they do. It's like, then they just ghost you, which to me is totally rude. Like but they think they're not being rude. They think they're being rude by saying no to you. I say it's more rude to stroke you like that. But that being said, that perception of theirs, they think they're doing the right thing, but they really are not interested.
Exactly. And, with respect to getting ghosted, in 2 weeks, I'm going to talk about follow-up strategies, which this sales agency has proven work. But we'll get to that in 2 weeks. But it's the speed to lead is significantly about top of mind, because all the benefits, like in your case with the show, all the benefits of sponsoring are at top of the mind because they just got off the show, So that's really where the advantages are. And for me to make a phone call, that it's top of mind because they just submitted the inquiry.
Yeah, and I'll say too that it is important that it's top of mind, and it's also the thing of circumstances happen in life. So today it could be top of mind and something they really want to do, and in 2 days they could have a car accident and a tax bill and multiple other things that it turns out now it's not top of mind, now it's not a priority, and now they can't even do it.
Yeah, and what you're calling about is a distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really bad.
And they think like, well, I can't spend any money because I got to do this. But yeah, if they had already made the decision and already spent the money, they would figure another way. They don't need to figure another way if they haven't spent the money yet.
Right. It's amazing how well it works. And I was shocked at the data. I knew it would be better, of course, but I didn't think it would be appreciably better. But it is appreciably better. And the drop off is appreciably negative.
Yeah.
The longer you wait. So, and a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't have time right away. That's fine, but you've just reduced your chances of closing.
I'll even add to that when you do accept the blow off, like let's get or a second appointment next week. Okay. The fact of the matter is one of the worst things that happens is that you have to start from the beginning. Right. Like you went, you pitched them, you went over everything. They asked their questions, and when you call them that second time, it's like that never happened.
I know. It's really, it's amazing. I know it's amazing, but that's sales.
Yeah,
and that's how it works. And so by increasing your speed to lead, you're going to notice dramatic changes and dramatic improvements.
Well, I definitely feel the need for the speed to lead. And why don't you tell everybody how they reach out to you and check out Next Step CFO and all your powerful business strategies?
Right. So they go to nextstepcfo.net. They could fill out a form and get a free copy of my book called Powerful Business Strategies. I'd love them to take advantage of it. It's free. There are 23 strategies in the book. And one of them we're going to be talking about in about 3 weeks again. One of the major strategies, position of market dominance, and they can learn all about it. And I think it'll be really, really helpful for them. So they can just go to nextstepcfo.net, and you'll see an orange button where you can fill out the form and get a free book.
Well, I love free books, so people better go and get that. Like, how can you lose? It's a free book. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, but you have a lot to gain, though. There's a lot of good stuff in it.
I have to say too that, okay, so I was just watching somebody that was a former show host that does something down here in South Florida, and they were talking about how they love public speaking, which you don't really hear people say that. Like it's feared more than death. Okay.
That's right.
And so I think it's pretty cool that next week everybody's got to tune into the Adventures of Pipeman, Positively Pipeman, for this powerful business strategy segment, because we're going to talk about the value of public speaking.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Aftershock, the West Coast's largest rock, metal, and punk festival, returns to Sacramento this October with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Pierce the Veil, plus Suicide Boys, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, A Day to Remember, Wu-Tang Clan, and more. Aftershock, October 1st through 4th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at AftershockFestival.com.